Welcome Math 1030 students. This is a video recap of example 1 from section 4D. This video is intended to serve as a reference to help you with the project that we will do at the end of the semester. So example 1 was about borrowing $75,000 for college at an interest rate of 9% with a loan term of 10 years. And we wanted to do a number of things. First, we wanted to calculate what the monthly payment was. We wanted to create an amortization schedule. After that, we wanted to figure out what the total of our payments is over the 10-year period. And then we wanted to calculate as well the total interest that we pay over those 10 years. So let's take it one step at a time, just like we did in class. We will start by creating some headings. The first will be the loan details. So we will highlight columns A1 and B1. Click under alignment, merge and center. So that will create one cell from the two. We'll come to the formula bar here in the middle of the screen, the long white bar, and we will type loan details. Press enter. Okay, and now to make that look nice, we click loan details and we can choose any color we want here. In class we chose blue, so I'll use that again. Okay, next we want to make a heading for the loan amortization schedule itself. Now remember, this was 6 columns, so we'll go from D through I, that's 6 columns of data. We'll do the same thing as before. We'll click merge and center to make one cell out of those 6. Come back to the formula bar, and this time the title is loan amortization schedule. Once you've typed that, hit enter. Again, we can change the color. In class we had it green, so I'll make it green again. And now we've got the 2 headings. Next, we fill out the pertinent or relevant information to the loan itself. So we had 6 entries there. The first was principal, the amount borrowed. Next was the yearly interest rate, also known as the APR. Next was the loan term, so how long it takes, how many years it takes to pay this debt off. Next was the compounding frequency. Okay, how often are we making interest payments? In this case, it's going to be once a month or 12 times per year. So this was compounding frequency per year. The next is our monthly interest rate. So because interest is being compounded monthly, we need to go from our APR to the equivalent monthly rate. We'll calculate that. And then finally, what the actual monthly payment is. So monthly payment, like that. Just like in class, we see that these labels are spilling out over into the B and even the C column here. So to correct that, we hover our mouse between the A and B columns. It will become a black double-sided arrow. We double click and Excel will format the size correctly for us. Now we begin by filling in the corresponding data values here. So the principal is $75,000, the original amount borrowed. The interest rate was 9%. As a decimal, that's 0.09. The loan term was 10 years. The compounding frequency, how often interest is compounded. This is once per month, in other words, 12 times per year. Our monthly interest rate, so we have to take our APR, our yearly rate, and divide it by the number of compoundings per year, that's 12. So we will type this in as a formula. Every formula in Excel starts with an equal sign. So we will type equals, and now what we'd like Excel to do is take what is in B3, so I'll click on B3 and divide that by, now I could click or type, it doesn't matter. I will type just so you can see that it's all the same. I want to divide by 12, so that's what's in B5. So I type enter, and you see I get an interest rate, a monthly interest rate of 0.0075. To calculate our monthly payment, we could use the formula that's in the book or in the section 4D lecture notes. But again, we want to avoid doing it by hand if possible and let Excel do that for us. So Excel has the payment formula from section 4D already programmed in, so we just need to call that function properly. And the way we do that is we type equals. So I'm in cell B7, I type equals. Now I start typing PMT. And Excel knows, okay, I think we want to use the payment formula for a loan. We can see that that's exactly what we want, and so we don't type enter, we hit tab, and it converts now into a formula with a number of variables. So the input variables here are the rate, that is the monthly interest rate. NPR means number of payments, the total number of payments we'll make over the life of the loan. PV stands for the principal value or the initial amount. And FV and type, you see those are in square brackets. But that means those are optional variables. You don't have to type numbers in for those. If you want, you can, but if not, that's okay. So let's start filling in these variables that Excel wants us to give it. So the first is, again, the monthly interest rate. So that is what is in cell B6. So I simply click B6. So the rate has been given. Now that is filled in, we type comma. And you see Excel says, okay, now what is NPER? Again, the total number of payments that are going to be made. Well, if we make 12 payments per year for 10 years, we want to do 12 times 10. 12 times 10 is what is in cell B5. So again, typing or clicking doesn't matter. Shift 8 gives you a star for multiplication times what is in cell B4. So that will give us 120, comma. Now Excel wants the PV value, the principal value, the initial amount. That is cell B2. Now to get the formatting right, if we just type B2, Excel is going to give us a number that's red in parentheses, and it's just going to look a little bit sloppy. There's nothing wrong with it, but to make it look nice, you see that's what happened. To make it look nice, we just want to put a minus sign in front of B2. So I'm just going to clear that out so you can see one more time. So equals PMT, tab, again, rate is B6, comma, NPER, B5 times B4, comma. Now I want to hit negative B2, and this time we won't have that red in parentheses come up. It'll look nice. The last one, FV, again, this is an optional variable, but this FV stands for the final value in the account. What should be left when we paid off the debt? Of course, that should be 0. So when we're not going to worry about type. So we're going to hit Shift 0. That will close the parenthesis, and we'll hit Enter. Excel executes that function and returns the value of $950.07. So that is our monthly payment. Every month we need to make a payment of $950.07. Next is the loan amortization schedule itself. So we're going to have 6 headings here. The first is the month. Next is the starting balance of that month. The next is the payment for that month. Next is the interest paid that month. Next is the principal paid that month. And finally, what the end of the month balance is after we've made our payment. So again, we see here that the columns aren't spaced quite right, so we'll just do that trick before where we resize everything by hovering our mouse in between the columns and double clicking once we get the black double-sided arrow. So there we go, and if you want, you can make this stand out a little more by highlighting and making it bold. However you want to make it look nice is up to you. So when we start paying back this loan, we'll be in month number 1. Our starting balance, so you could just type this in, but it's better to get in the habit of using Excel the way it was intended to be used. So this is going to be equal, and then we can click on B2. So that's going to take the value 75,000. We hit enter and place it in cell E3. Our payment. So this is an important thing we talked about. There are some numbers that are going to change in this loan amortization schedule and some numbers that won't. For example, the balance is going to change each month. So as we're making payments, it's going to drop down over time. So these numbers will change. The payment amount, though, this is fixed. This is what we've agreed to with the lender, the bank, the credit card company, whoever, to pay this amount every month. Now, when there's a number that you're using in Excel that doesn't change, it's always the same every single time, you want to encapsulate that in dollar signs. So we're going to type equals, and now instead of typing B7, I'm going to type $B $7. That's letting Excel know the payment is always the same number. It's never going to change. The interest paid. So the interest paid will be whatever the balance is that month times your monthly interest rate. So we have a balance of $75,000. So that is coming from cell E3. So equals E3, and we're multiplying that by the monthly rate. Now this never changes, so because it never changes, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use dollar signs around it. So it's $B $6, press enter. So $562.50 is what we paid in month 1 in interest alone. Again, this is the money that's taken from you. It's stolen from you. It's not applied to this $75,000 at all. It's taken away from the $950 and just removed. It's gone. So what remains then is what's paid on the principal. So whatever's left over after they take the $562.50 away from you, that is what goes towards the principal or towards the actual balance. So to calculate that, we need to know the difference between, so equals F3. So whatever we paid minus the interest that was removed. So minus G3. Okay, so that difference is the amount that was actually paid towards the principal. So this amount, $387.57, is what gets removed from our overall balance. $950.07 is not removed from this number. It is this here. So once that is taken away, the $387.57 off $75,000, we'll get our new end of the month balance. So this is equal to E3 minus H3. So that is our balance at the end of month 1 after we've made our first payment, $74,612.43. Now, after month 1, of course, we proceed to month 2. We're on a payment schedule, so we've made the first payment, and then month 2 comes around. Our balance now is not $75,000, it is $74,612.43. Now, again, you could just type this number in by hand, but if you do that, you're not going to use the full functionality of Excel, which is what we want. So you don't type it in manually, you hit equals and then click that value, or you can just type I3 either way, and then hit enter. So that lets Excel know you want that number copied there. And Excel, seeing the pattern that you're putting into it, will eventually realize how to change the numbers as we copy the formulas down in the next step. So doing things this way is what we want. Payment, again, payment isn't changing, so because it's not changing, we use dollar signs. So this is $B $7, enter. Interest paid, so it's the same as before, except our balance in month 2 isn't $75,000, it's a little bit less. So the interest that we pay this month will be a little bit less as well. So this is E4 times, okay, now our monthly rate is not changing, so it's $B $6. Hit enter, so you see it just as we predicted. The interest that we paid went down by about $3 this month, so that's working in our favor, that's good. The principal paid, again, we're making a $950.07 payment, so the interest is what's taken, stolen from us, removed from our payment amount. So to calculate that, what remains then is F4 minus G4. $390.48 is what is applied to our balance in month 2. So these two values are what will be subtracted. So our new balance after we've made that second month's payment is E4 minus H4. Hit enter. So this is our new balance, $74,221.96. This is what we owe now after 2 months worth of payments. Now the nice thing here, because we've done everything correct, Excel will know how to copy and update the formulas we've typed in on its own. So we can get our whole amortization schedule just by simply clicking and copying things. So we do this by highlighting this second row. we know that we're making 12 payments a year for 10 years, so that's 120 total payments. Our first month's payment occurred in cell D3, so in row 3. So if this is month 1, we need to go 119 more rows from row 3. That puts us at row 122. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover my mouse over the little green square in the lower right hand corner. It will become a little black cross. Once it does, I will click and I will hold the mouse down and drag it all the way down to row 122. That is the end of this loan payment schedule. So I get down to row 122. I'm still holding the mouse. You can see that we are from column D to column I, and then down all the way to row 122. So I let go. Excel will automatically fill in those values for us, update our loan amortization schedule. This is the whole thing now. We can see the interest paid, okay, decreases over time. Okay. Conversely, the principal that we pay each month will increase little by little. Okay, these values get higher over time. We see in our final column the balance on our loan decreasing over time as well until our final payment, okay, where we have a final balance of $0.00, 120 months after we began paying. So 10 years, 12 times a year, just as it should be. Now, if we want to know what the total amount paid on the account was, right, what we're doing is we are making a monthly payment of $950.07, 12 times a year for 10 years. So we can make a column or an entry for the total paid. This will be our monthly payment, so we're going to type equals. It's our monthly payment times how often we make that payment per year, so 12 times, or what's in cell B5, times the loan term, or how many years we're financing this debt. Say that's 10, equals. So we get a total paid value on this loan of $114,008.20. So the original balance was $75,000. So anything over $75,000 is what was interest, or what was stolen or taken from us, any extra money that we paid. So if we want to calculate that, we can type the interest paid. This will be our total payments, right? Whatever we totally paid minus whatever we initially borrowed. Okay, and that value is $39,008.20. So you can see that we paid a little more than 50% in interest over the life of this loan. Right? Now that is a significant number. Ways that you can go about minimizing that are to make more than your minimum payment every month. So we see that $950.07 is our minimum payment. By increasing the minimum payment, we can decrease the total interest paid over the life of the loan. There's one other way we can calculate what the interest paid is on the loan. So interest paid, part 2. If you look at our loan amortization schedule, column G tabulates all of the interest payments that we've made throughout the life of the loan. So if we look in cells G3 all the way through cell G122, those values are tabulated for us. So one other way to get the interest paid on the life of the loan is to write equals, and Excel actually has a function that will add numbers together. So if we add the interest paid column together, we should get the same number we got when we just subtracted $75,000 from $114,008.20. So let's see if that actually happens. So to get Excel to add up some numbers, we start typing sum, S-U-M. You can see that that becomes highlighted in blue. Any function that Excel knows, we press tab. So now Excel is asking us what numbers do we want to add together. So we want to add together the numbers starting in cell G3. You see it highlights it there in blue for us. Okay, it's saying that's the first number we want to add. And then we're going to type colon. So colon, we want to take G3 all the way through G122. And you can see Excel knows to highlight all of these numbers for us just by using the colon, G3 colon G122. It's telling Excel add all that together. Shift Enter will close the parentheses, and then we can press Enter one more time. And you can see that ignoring a little bit of rounding, we get the exact same number, $39,008, and rounding 0.19 to 0.20, we get the exact same number. So however you want to do it is fine, but I hope you can see the value of knowing what your amortization schedule is. This is what the bank, the credit card company, this is what they have on record for you, so they can know exactly how much they're going to make from you 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Whatever the terms of the loan are, they already know what they're going to get from you 20 years from now. You having this information allows you to control how much debt you're in the future, how much interest you pay, how much money you're able to save, all those kinds of things. So I hope this has been valuable, and thank you for watching.